Hello everybody, good evening once again. Welcome to my channel Live Beautiful with Vamsi. And in this video, I am going to discuss one very hot contemporary topic. I'm sure of late you have been hearing about lot of IT layoffs from Microsoft, from Amazon, from Google, from many reputed IT companies. Lot of layoffs have been coming, and even though I'm not from IT industry, even though I'm from mechanical background, I have been laid off once, and I went through a tough phase of unemployment because of layoff. So I thought of sharing my insights and my perspectives, how I coped up with this layoff, with this phase of unemployment, how I dealt with it, how I coped up with it. I would like to share with you, and I sincerely hope that you will also be benefited from some of the insights. It's always good to learn from somebody who has been through it before you. Okay, right. One more thing, in case you are new to my channel, please subscribe my channel. Uh, Somehow I feel uncomfortable saying this because I am not exactly a professional YouTuber, but still, the more you subscribe, more you like, the more encouraged I feel. Okay, now without much ado, let's jump into the topic. How to deal with IT layoffs. First and foremost thing, very important thing to remember is unemployment is just a phase. And I use this word very million times very. You remember that unemployment is just a phase. Okay, it is just a small phase of life compared to various phases you encountered in life. Okay, I'm sure all of you are grown up adults, and I'm sure you have been through various phases in life, like school phase or college phase, teenage phase. Mm, before you started your first job, you must have been through some unemployment phase. So likewise, this layoff period or unemployment due to this layoff is nothing but a phase. And because this phase has a start, it definitely will have an end. Okay, remember one thing, your unemployment phase will definitely come to an end. If not today, if not tomorrow, if not day after tomorrow, if not next month, or if not next month, it will definitely come to an end. My unemployment phase lasted for 8 months. And after 8 months, I got a very petty job. And after another 1.5 months of doing a very petty part-time job, I got a main job. So to be frank, even though technically my unemployment lasted 8 months, including that 1.5 month of that part-time job, it goes almost up to 10 months. But nevertheless, I reiterate, unemployment is just a phase. And moreover, don't judge yourself because of unemployment. Don't judge yourself to be inferior, or don't judge yourself to be some kind of social injustices have happened to you or anything like that, because unemployment is neither a sin nor a crime. You have neither sinned nor crimed or done a crime to be ashamed of yourself. A simple analogy I would like to use is unemployment is just like a common cold. Anyone can catch it. Okay, just like common cold can be a little inconvenient, this phase of unemployment also can be a little inconvenient. That's all. And I repeat, everybody, almost everybody at some point of life goes through unemployment phase. And you can take solace from the fact that even Steve Jobs got fired from his own company. Okay, I'm sure everybody knows the famous story where Steve Jobs got fired from Apple. Of course, later Apple again recruited him. That's a different story altogether. But he was first fired from his own company. So such things definitely happen in life. Okay, and the most important advice I give you whenever you lose your job is not to sit idle cursing your fate. This is very important. Take a firm decision that you are not going to dwell in self pity or brood over it. Just dwelling in self pity or just brooding over your bad luck, it leads to depression, and depression always badly compromises your judgment and capacity to face the reality. Because once you become depressed, whatever capacity you have to face the reality, to face the hardships that are going to come due to unemployment phase, that badly gets compromised. Okay, instead of just slapping your forehead that this is my bad luck, this is my fate, God has been unkind to me, etc., etc. First and foremost thing, decide that you will not sit idle during this phase. Be productive, and I'll give you some guidelines how you can be productive during your unemployment phase. Remember one thing: how you handle this unemployment phase totally depends on your perspective of this phase and how you look at this phase. Are you going to look at this phase as an opportunity to clearly understand your strengths and weakness? I would strongly say this is a wonderful opportunity to do a SWOT analysis about your own self, to clearly introspect yourself, to clearly understand yourself. There's a famous saying which goes something like, know thyself. And this unemployment phase is a wonderful opportunity to know thyself, to know yourself. Are you looking at this opportunity, unemployment phase as an opportunity to learn a new skill? Why not? As an opportunity to bond more deeply with family? Why not? Because whenever a set of people go through the same hardships together, a deep bond forms between those members. Okay, so as a head of the family, you discuss with your family and give faith and trust to your family that this is just a small phase and we will all get through this phase together. Ensure that as a head of the family that you will definitely guide your family through this tough phase, and you require your family members cooperation on a financial level or a mental level. You require your family's cooperation and use this phase to bond definitely with your family. Maybe you can help your wife while cooking, maybe you can help your wife for doing household chores. This is a wonderful opportunity to bond with your wife. Maybe you can spend more time with your children, help them with their homework, help them with their studies. Because one fine day you will definitely get a job. One fine day you will definitely get a job. You are not going to stay unemployed for rest of your life. So use this small phase to bond more deeply with your family, and use this phase as an opportunity to introspect yourself. And I'll give you some guidelines how you can introspect yourself. I'll elaborate on this further. Use this opportunity to become closer to God. I personally know many people who use their bad phase in life to start some spiritual practices, including myself. I started yoga almost 18 years back when I was going through a very bad phase of my life. And I used this meditation to become closer to God. And I must say that once I started meditating, my life really started improving. Whether the grace of God or whether I really became, a favorite to God, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But once I deeply started deeply meditating and sincerely meditating, some good things started happening in my life. So you never know. So use this opportunity to start some spiritual practice, maybe meditation, maybe yoga, maybe pranayama. Next is an opportunity to become more widely wise. In Hindi we say dunyadari. Because this phase of unemployment, it will teach you a lot of good lessons in life. Some of your close relatives will show their true color. Sometimes now even your watchman in the society will not show respect to you because you don't have a job. The social stigma of joblessness is unbearable. So use this opportunity to become more worldly wise. How you can learn more about this world, how you can learn more about this, how the world works. This can be a good opportunity to review your finances. And also this is a wonderful opportunity to develop book reading habit to become more knowledgeable. This also I will further elaborate. Point number D and point number H I will further elaborate. Now point number D, as a opportunity to introspect yourself, and I will give you some guidelines how you can introspect yourself. There are plenty of point of views in which you can introspect yourself, but I will definitely give you some guidelines which I followed during my unemployment phase. The most important question, or rather the most important three questions you must ask yourself is, why wasn't I retained by the company during tough times? So even during the tough times, and even when so many employees were laid off, there were some employees who were retained by the company. You must ask yourself why you did not belong to that group of employees who were retained. Okay, somewhere you failed to become indispensable to the company. Instead of becoming the axis for a wheel, you became a cog in the wheel. That's why you were expendable. You must ask yourself, why was I considered expendable? What made me expendable? Why was why was why was I not important enough for the company to be retained? I'm sure that once you get laid off, you must have seen somebody who is sitting right beside you who was retained by the company. So there was something correct that guy did which you did not do, or which you failed to do, which led to your unemployment. So one hard truth or bitter pill to swallow is you are not among the employees retained by the company. In some perspective, in some point of view, the top management concluded that you are less important than the ones retained even in such cost cutting or crisis situation. Even in such a cost cutting situations or crisis situation, top management concluded that you are less important than the one retained. And that's the reason why you lost your job. So ask yourself the following questions. Were you not proactive enough? I'm sure everybody read this book, Seven Effective Habits of Highly Effective People. The first effective habit is be proactive. Were you not proactive enough? Were you kind of laid back attitude? Were you the kind of person who always needed to be told what to be done instead of doing things by yourself, instead of doing things by your own initiative or doing things by your own volition? Were you always the kind of person who needed to be told what to do? Were you not proactive enough? Or didn't you walk the extra mile when company needed you to put additional effort? Sometimes some projects come, and even though you are paid only for 9 hours a day, sometimes when situation comes, you have to put more effort. You have to spend more time in the company. Maybe you fail to do so. Maybe you are adamant that my time is only 9 hours or 8 hours a day. So to hell with the company, to hell with the project, I am not going to work more than 9 hours. By mistake, did you ever behave like that? Were you not creative enough? Did you offend any important guy's egos? It happens. Did you offend any important manager or somebody in a very important pivotal role? Did you offend his ego, knowingly or unknowingly? Were you offendingly straightforward when you were supposed to be diplomatic? Because I'm sure every grown-up adult knows that world is not exactly very straight. World is not exactly very flat. So sometimes you have to be slightly diplomatic in the way you approach instead of being ruthlessly straightforward. Maybe your too much of straightforwardness was not seen in good light by the management. Other important questions you must introspect yourself is, wasn't your output proportional to the salary you were drawing? Did management feel that the output or the work delivery you are delivering is not in line or is not aligned with the salary which was given to you? Did management think that you were disproportionately paid at a higher level? Wasn't your output not as per expectation for someone of your age and experience? Especially in IT industry, I hear many friends say that top management of many IT companies are nowadays thinking the work which is being done by 15 years experience can be done by guys of 7 years experience and 8 years experience also. That is the reason some IT companies are thinking of relieving people of high experience, like 15 years experience or 20 years experience. So you have to ask yourself, are you really giving an output, giving an output which is expected from somebody of your age and experience? Because if you are giving the same output as somebody of with 20 years of experience, if you are giving the same output as somebody of 8 years or 9 years experience, then naturally company will look at you as somebody who is expendable. Then naturally company will think that, well, something must be done about this guy. Actually, there is a joke. There is a huge difference between 15 years of experience and having 1 year experience for 15 consecutive years. Do you belong to this category? Are you really being a guy being a guy of 15-20 years of experience, or are you a guy with just initial experience which you kept repeating for 15 consecutive years without any growing or learning? So introspect yourself very thoroughly. Did you not take care of your reputation? Because in my 20 years of experience, I have seen some employees with some very bad reputations. I have seen guys who had a bad reputation called woman chasers. They were called woman chasers. They were called extremely arrogant. They were called extremely self-centered. I even saw some guys who had a bad reputation of being extremely impolite. So in case your reputation has taken a beating because of your behavior, that also can lead to your layoff. That also can lead to unemployment when crisis situation has struck the company. Weren't you enough self-driven? Weren't you enough self-motivated? Weren't you enough pushing yourself to the limit, etc., etc.? I mean, these questions I have just given you for guidance. There may be umpteen number of other questions which you can ask yourself. But the most important thing is you must be honest with yourself, and once you get your answers, consider them life lessons which you must never forget. Take a firm resolution that you will never do that mistake again in your professional life. And once you introspect yourself, and once you realize what you have done, and once you realize the mistake you have done, never, never, never repeat that mistake again, and take that firm resolution. Okay, now next come to the next point. As I mentioned, even this book reading habit, I would like to elaborate further. Use this unemployment phase an opportunity to develop book reading habit and to become more knowledgeable. I'm sure everybody knows the importance of book reading. And I'm sure everybody heard these sayings, readers or leaders, or rather even leaders or readers. That also you must have heard. Life is too short to make all the mistake ourselves. Smart men learn from their mistakes and wise men learn from others' mistakes. So these are all the sayings which thoroughly encourage you to read good books of various genres. It may be autobiographical books, it may be autobiographies, or time management, or sports psychology, or self improvement. You can read books of various genres. And during my phase of unemployment, I read several books which I am going to outline here. And I encourage you. Of course, I cannot threaten you, or I cannot pressurize you to read these books, because these are all my personal choice. Your choice may be slightly different, but I'll just give you some suggestions of some gem of books which I read during my layoff phase. Call to the Nation by Swami Vivekananda. This is the excellent book. This is just a 5 rupees book which is sold for subsidized price by Ramakrishna Math. This is a wonderful book. And I can strongly say that if you read this book and still not get inspired, you are a dead body. Swami Vivekananda's teachings are so inspiring that they can inspire even a dead body. An excellent book. And next famous book is Autobiography of Yogi. This is a spiritual classic. Total Recall by Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is a wonderful autobiography by Arnold Schwarzenegger. How he came all the way from Austria to America. How he struggled during the early days for his bodybuilding. How he developed his reputation. It's really inspiring, and you can always learn something from these biographies. And some sports psychology books like Rise of Superman by Stephen Kotler, Stealing Fire by Stephen Kotler, Give and Take by Adam Grant, Grit by Angela Duckworth, Discipline by Brian Tracy. Now, Brian Tracy is a very famous author. Eat the Frog by Brian Tracy. Again, this is also a wonderful book. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This is a classic. This book was written way back in 1930. And Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. This is also considered a classic. This was also written way back in some 1940s or 1950s. Originals by Adam Grant, Jonathan Livingstone Seagull by Richard Bach, 10x by Grant Cardone, Inner Engineering by Sadhguru, Principles by Ray Dalio, Awaken the Giant Within by Anthony Robbins, Bhagavad Gita as It Is by His Divine Grace Swami Prabhupada. Of course, Bhagavad Gita was actually preached by Lord Krishna, but that was clearly explained by His Divine Grace Swami Prabhupada, the founder of the ISKCON, International Society of Krishna Consciousness. I am sure many people would have heard of this society called ISKCON. I am sure everybody would have visited the ISKCON temple at one time or other time. Okay, another important book which I read is Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson, and Wings of Fires by APJ Abdul Kalam, our honorable scientist, and of course The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And one more book I forgot to mention is this Magic of Thinking book, Thinking Big, by David Schwartz. Even that's a wonderful book. So all these books, they kept me alive. Alive means they help me not to fall into any depression or not to fall into any self pity or anything like that. So reading books, I strongly encourage you during this unemployment phase. I strongly recommend all of you to habituate yourself of this reading, book reading, and this book reading habit, which I imbibed or which I absorbed into my blood during those unemployment phase, has stayed with me even today. Even today, at least I complete one book once per 2 weeks. Once in 2 weeks, at least one book I complete. It has become a habit for me. It has become a necessary habit for me, actually. Almost necessary, like drinking water or inhaling air. And I'm happy that this book reading habit has become such an important habit for me. And I strongly recommend all of you to make this habit, especially during your tough times like layoffs. Okay, so in my capacity, these are all the suggestions I can give you how to cope up with your IT layoff. If at all you are lost a job, whether you are in America or especially America, right? I think most of the companies which have laid off are from USA. So wherever you are in this world, if at all you are going through this hard phase of called hard phase called layoffs, well, these are the suggestions I give you within my capacity. So hope these suggestions have helped you. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. And last but not the least, oh sorry, I forgot to tell this. Last but not the least, use this phase to count your blessings. See, till now, when you had a job, you took many things for granted, and this is the time for you to understand the importance of everything you took for granted. See, even though you lost a job, now I'm sure you will not come onto the road. You still can have a roof on your top. Be happy for that. You can eat food thrice a day. Be happy for that. You still have a supportive family. Be happy for that. You still have a good health. Be happy for that. Even if you don't have anything, be happy that you have a comfortable flush toilet, because even today many people go outdoors for their toilets. So if you have a comfortable indoor flush toilet, you can thank God even for that. Anyway, the point is, jokes apart, the point is, use this phase to count your blessings and to realize that you are more blessed than millions of people in this world. And more importantly, don't lose hope. Never, never, never lose hope, because I end this video with the sentence I started. Unemployment is just a phase. Because it started, it will end. Okay? Thank you very much. And in case you like my video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, the more you like, more you subscribe, more encouraging it will be for me to make more videos. So thank you so much, and God be with you.